grade 9. My topic is graffiti, art form or public nuisance. It's an age-old debate and rather nuanced. I shall endeavor to spend the next few minutes to explain the evolution of graffiti, its underlying issues, so that we can converge towards a common consensus. The word graffiti comes from the Italian word graffiato, meaning to scratch, or the Greek word graphene, meaning to write. Graffiti is drawings or writings on walls or other public spaces, usually done without permission. Governments don't take kindly to graffiti. They see it as a form of public defacement, visual pollution, and vandalism. Some governments have tried legally restricting graffiti and even punishing perpetrators involved. An example of this is the American kid Michael Fay, studying in the Singapore American School in 1993. He was fined and caned for spray painting on cars and walls. Despite that though, graffiti continues to grow as a subculture driven by hip-hop culture, political movements, social issues, and even advertising. Graffiti has existed since ancient times in civilizations such as Rome, Greece, and Egypt. In fact, a remarkable example is from Pompeii, a city destroyed by a volcano, Mount Vesuvius. Some of the findings in Pompeii include taverns with graffiti on them. The graffiti content ranges from curse words in Latin to declarations of love to couplets mocking the quality of wine being served at the taverns to even the address of a famous sex symbol, Novelia Primigena, among others. In the modern era, hip-hop culture, along with stencil graffiti and spray cans, have been the primary driving forces in the subculture. The 1960s decade saw a rebirth in graffiti subculture. Examples include the subways in New York, the large character posters in China during the Cultural Revolution, anti-Vietnam War protests across the US, and even protests by students in Europe. Since the new millennium, graffiti has entered the commercial mainstream. In 2001, IBM put on a campaign across several cities in the US by spray painting a peace symbol, a heart, and a penguin to promote the Linux operating system. While this was considered a brilliant campaign, it ended up costing the company a lot of money to clean up the graffiti. Another example is from 2005, when Sony launched the PlayStation Portable handheld system in the United States. And to promote it, they put on another graffiti-style campaign that was just as brilliant. Of course, graffiti has impacted political movements the most, with examples including the Berlin Wall's eastern side, the West Bank barrier between Palestine and Israel, and most recently, the Arab Spring movement. Governments have not taken kindly to graffiti. They either think that it's pollution because of the volatile organic compounds released by the paint, or they think that it simply defaces a city's aesthetics. Cities like San Diego have set up hotlines to report on graffiti-related vandalism, and ubiquitous security cameras have been set up all over major cities, making it harder for graffiti artists to express themselves. On the other hand, certain governments have designated specific areas for graffiti artists. In Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, graffiti artists have had a place dedicated just for them. This ideology has been taken a step further in the place where I live, Taipei City, where anyone can express themselves via graffiti on any public structure that is under construction. In fact, a competition has been going on for the last 10 years in New Taipei Ximending, where graffiti artists from around the world participate. Graffiti has evolved in content, ranging from hashtags to easily removable paint to social and commercial causes. All this in the face of draconian measures to clamp down on graffiti. Examples include the UK with its zero tolerance towards graffiti. It does this by limiting the sale of aerosol cans to people above the age of 16, as well as instantly fining individuals caught doing graffiti. So, where does all this stand? Graffiti has evolved and adapted itself into technology, technique, and execution. Regulatory measures are the wrong response when it comes to curbing graffiti. Instead, one should apply reasonable restrictions like they exist in free speech. Governments and NGOs, non-government organizations, should take advantage of graffiti as a means of promoting and delivering empowering, positive messages. If this happens, graffiti will be good for all. Thank you very much.